Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show. I want to start this review out by saying no, this is not sponsored by ChromaCast cases. I'm just a happy customer, and I wanted to share this with everyone because I know how difficult it is to shop for an aftermarket case online. In order to get the best price on a case, generally online shopping is your best bet. But you lose that ability to be able to take your guitar into the store and find the case that fits perfectly for your guitar. So that is the reason why I want to make this video on this ChromaCast Les Paul case. So let's start with this company, ChromaCast. The thing you plug into your TV? No, not a ChromeCast. It's a very similar name, but it is a company that just makes cases for guitars. These are sold at your local Walmart store, or at least online, and you can also find them on places like Amazon and eBay, but the prices vary wildly. And the price was the first thing that stuck out to me about this case. When I had purchased this, it was $67 brand new, shipped to my door. Now that was a blowout price, and I didn't really realize that before planning this video, but they have now gone back up to $79.98, but that's still fairly reasonable for a case like this one. So let's go ahead and take a look into this case. The first thing that I liked about this case is it has 4 latches. Sometimes when you're buying a cheaper case, they'll skimp out and give you like 3 latches, sometimes even 2. But this one has 4, including the back latch here, and it has a very nice handle to it. There's not a lot of padding to it, but it still seems very secure to the case, and that's always something I look for. Another fun feature is it does have a locking latch, and the key is included inside the case when you get this brand new, as well as a starter pack of picks. The exterior's not necessarily anything special. It's kind of a fake leather-like material. I will say that this will kind of scuff up pretty quickly. And you can see here that it will indentate if you stack something on top of it. So that might be something that is a flaw to this case. But where this thing really shines is the inside. The most important thing about an aftermarket case is how well it fits your guitar. And let me tell you, I get a bunch of aftermarket cases with guitars, and not a lot of them have a good fit. This is the first one I found that actually fit the guitars really well. I actually initially found out about this case because I had purchased a used The Paul from the early 80s, and it came with one of these things. And I was so impressed with the fit of that guitar, I went out and bought another one because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a fluke and that they were just really well-made cases. And sure enough, when I got it, it had the exact same fit. So I thought we would go ahead and compare like pretty much every single model of Les Paul in this case, so you get an idea of the fit. First, we're going to start with a Les Paul Special styled guitar. This is a 2014 Melody Maker. It's got pretty much the thinnest body of a Les Paul you'll find. This is what I'm always testing for a case. I want to make sure that there's very limited up and down movement and left and right. This case does only have a single neck rest, but since the headstock cavity is very deep, it doesn't really matter as much, and this kind of acts as a second rest. So on a Les Paul Special styled guitar, you can see you've got some up and down movement, and the left and right, this is what I would consider passable. It's not the perfect case for a Les Paul Special, but you can see it does have very good heel support right here, so you can definitely put a Special in here. The next guitar we'll test is a Les Paul Jr. This is a slab mahogany body with a flat top. And I would say this is a much better case for this guitar. You've got a little bit more left and right motion, but here's where this case is magical for more full-sized bodied guitars. Look at the up and down movement. Almost nothing. That's why I fell in love with these cases. And once again, look how high up the headstock is here. You're definitely not going to have any damage from this touching the bottom of the case. Another important test is once you flip it on its side, is it going to flop around? You can tell it flops a little bit. In order to combat that, you could put like an extra foam pad up here. That's one thing that they tried to do, but it doesn't have a lot of padding at the top. The next Les Paul model is the Les Paul Studio. Very similar to the Junior, except for you have a carved top on it. Left and right, again, you've got some movement, but again, the up and down, this one is very minimal. And the flop test, it's still got a little bit of floppiness to it. Now we have a Les Paul Classic. This would also fit under the same lines of like a standard and a traditional. Up and down movement, pretty much nothing. Side to side, minimal again. I guess that's the one thing that I really didn't realize before doing this review and giving it such a great status, is it does need more padding. That seems to be a common theme for this, is there's just not enough padding up here to secure the fit while you're carrying it around. Last but not least, we'll look at a Les Paul Custom. Up and down movement, pretty much nothing. Left and right, this one's probably the most secure out of them all. So as far as a really good fit, left and right, up and down, so there's not a lot of motion in the case, this is one of the better aftermarket cases I've seen that is in the sub $100 category. The only weakness to this case has to be it's kind of a weak exterior. It'll scuff, but it still looks nice for the most part. But the flopping around of the guitars on the inside, that's probably not the best. So now that we've tested the fit of this case with all these different guitars, the conclusion is it is a pretty darn good case for the price. I was much happier with this thing around 60 bucks. I think that extra 20 bucks would make me consider maybe spring in another 20 bucks for a slightly better padded case. But that's really the only weakness to this case, is it just needs a little bit more foam on that top lid to fully secure your guitar. So if you're interested in checking one of these out, I will leave some links in the description. And if nothing else, hopefully I helped you make a decision of whether you should purchase the ChromaCast case or not. Thank you, Troglodytes, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.